Where do we want to start here? So how is everybody out there doing? It is the turn of the year and everybody seems to be thinking about turkeys again. So welcome back. This will probably be the first video that we're going to toss out there because it's kind of a continuance on something that we were doing last off season, and that's the reworked episodes to where we were going back to certain days of the 2018 Pinhoti Project season and walking you through them and walking through the decisions we made, right or wrong, just trying to build on that experience and see if we couldn't help somebody else out there make the right decision when it comes time if you were faced with something similar. Today, I'm going to go back to a day in the 2018 season, the original Pinhoti Project season. It was day 68. I asked a question. I made a post a long time ago about what days interested you guys, what days you wanted to see, and this is one of them. A lot going on day 68. It was the last day of Georgia's 2018 spring season. Chubbs killed a gobbler, but it wasn't until we basically went through a rodeo for several hours. So that's what we're doing right now. We're going to jump in there and look at day 68. So if you haven't watched it, I suggest you viewing the day 68 of the original Pinhoti Project season now. I kind of titled this whole thing "A Beast We Created" because this is a turkey that we had several run-ins with.
You guys keep your fingers crossed that we are going after a specific turkey that we are both pretty sure is not going to gobble. This turkey's seen us 3 times.
I've hunted him twice and scared him both times. I'm batting 1,000 on him.
This turkey lives. Y'all have seen him on video actually. I saw him the first time and scared him. And y'all saw him twice on video.
So we started the day with the bikes. You saw a lot of the bikes in the 2018 season. Basically, that just means we're trying to get to places other people aren't. And that's just your typical turkey hunter, just trying to get to an unpressured turkey or an unpressured spot, an area that you don't have to worry about other people. That's just step one that kind of jumped into this whole day. The first thing I wanted to hit on day 68 comes in around the 4-minute and 28-second mark. And let's hop over to that real quick. Click on the playlist here.
Yeah. You hear that sound?
That was him?
Huh?
That was him?
Oh, yeah. You hear that? It's like in a bowl.
Yeah.
That's what we sounded like yesterday. Like he's not roosting high.
Yeah.
The first thing I want to hit on is being able to gauge distance and taking into consideration the time of season that you're hunting and wherever it happens to be that you're hunting. This particular situation, we're in Georgia, the foliage is extremely thick. Something that comes with experience is being able to tell how far a turkey is, taking into consideration the terrain and the foliage. You hear Chubbs mention that the turkey sounds like it's in a bowl, so there's an echo that comes with that gobble. It doesn't seem like the gobble is just straight from, straight into your ear, basically. It sounds like it's down in a hole. That's something that tells you you've got to through experience, you're going to be able to kind of gauge how far that turkey is and almost tell yourself, okay, he's down in a bottom, or he's up on the top of a ridge, or he's on the other side of the ridge. Things like, does that gobble echo when you hear the gobble? Does it sound muffled, or is it clear? You'll hear us saying that a lot in these videos to where, there's nothing between us but air, which lets us know that, say, he's on one side of the ridge and we're just straight across from him or something of that nature. The next thing I wanted to hit on was at the 8-minute mark, so let's hop over to the 8-minute mark. For the 8-minute mark, another thing I wanted to hit on, which you've seen us do a lot, is the wing and using sounds that are, a little bit. That's not a big secret, I wouldn't say, but it is an important thing that people need to kind of appreciate. Is things that turkeys hear that aren't exactly like turkey-specific sounds. Like you don't have to call in a turkey with a turkey call. Scratching in the leaves, sounding like a turkey walking in the leaves, wing beats, those are very effective tools that you need to, take into consideration when you're trying to fool one, especially these turkeys late in the season. In this situation, Chubbs did a fly down with a wing. He got a little bit too excited about it, as you can tell, but it is very effective. It's very realistic. It's just trying to paint that picture from beginning to end. 8 minutes and 50 seconds. I'd kind of touch on the issues we've had with this turkey in the past.
He's gobbling too good not to die. Just this spot's super hard to set up on a turkey in, especially this one. He'll never play by the rules. He'll never come up the spur that you want him to, or come up the good woods. He always... Man, that joker's just straight nothing between us but air.
So that's hitting on two of the topics we've already discussed, is how clear his gobble is, how I was able to tell that there's nothing between us but air. So that turkey, there's no terrain feature or anything between us, that something I was able to gather just from hearing his gobble. And also the hard setup. So this particular turkey lived in an area with a lot of hogbacks. So basically what that means is just thin ridge tops, to where he never traveled the top of the ridge. He always seemed to stay off the side. That can really handcuff you, and you'll see that later in the video. If you've watched it, you've seen it. It's exactly what happened. That turkey handcuffed us right here at the end. Almost cost us. But let's hop on down to 10 minutes and 55 seconds in this whole ordeal here.
Hey, that other turkey just gobbled. That's 2 turkeys.
Besides Chubb's fantastic hair quality here, we'll discuss the fact that we're taking note of another turkey that's gobbling. That's something I want to hit on. Don't get tunnel vision. Always pay attention to what's going on around you. I know it can be difficult to ignore a gobble, but you wouldn't believe how often it happens. Don't get tunnel vision. If you're working one turkey, always take into consideration what's going on around you. If you hear another turkey, that is a huge thing that you need to take note of. If that turkey starts advancing, you can use those turkeys against each other a lot of times. I think that's one of the reworks back at the beginning that we touched on, was working 2 turkeys and using them against each other. And that's exactly what happens here. This is just Chubbs being Chubbs, and he's gonna share his snacks with me. This is a rarity, I can promise you. Figured y'all would get a kick out of that, which, not like you hadn't seen enough of it. But I want to jump on over to 13 minutes and 11 seconds here.
We hadn't called to him in over an hour. We're fixing to do something because we got to go to work. Chubb's getting out the glass. I put him out the upper end. Oh yeah, he's gobbled like crazy.
Chubbs and I have been working this turkey. It's late in the season, and he's still up on the tree way after he should be on the ground. So something that we have done, or kind of a last resort here, is we're going to get up and walk around. He's going to go to one side of the hill. I'm going to go to the other. We're going to act like 2 turkeys just getting back and forth with each other, like 2 hens conversing. Anyway, so we do that. We're trying to throw everything at this turkey. It's the last day of the season. He's got a whole off season to forget about what's happening to him, or forget about how we're going to screw this up. But that's essentially what we're doing here, is basically tossing the bag of tricks at him because we don't have anything left. Hopping on over to 17 minutes and 32 seconds.
Turkey gobble down there. Gobbled 3 times, way down there.
The turkey gobbled again, and it's still in the tree, and Chubbs throws something. I can't remember what it is, but it's kind of comical that we can't get this turkey out of the tree. But I made mention that I heard the other turkey again, like he had gobbled a couple more times. And what I wanted to emphasize about that situation is, if you've got a show going, if you've got a show that you're putting on, whether it be jakes in front of you, a lot of times it's been jakes, and whether it be a hen that's putting on a show, keep the show going as long as you can, because you never know who else is listening. I can't tell you how many times I've had a mouthy hen come up and just kept her entertained for the 15 or 20 minutes, and then just out of nowhere, here comes a longbeard that never said a word. Or if I've had jakes that have just been gobbling, and just kept them in front of me, kept them gobbling, kept them entertained. You never know who's listening, who may not be talking. So keep that show going. Keep whatever it is in front of you entertained, because you could potentially be doing yourself a huge favor. What happens there at a little bit before the 19-minute mark is the other turkey starts advancing, and we can hear it, we can tell it. It's when we start playing the one turkey off the other turkey game. We start calling to the far turkey aggressively, ignoring what the close turkey is saying, kind of changed our strategies to target the farther bird.
Kill him or he's going to kill him.
So that's the official decision a little bit after the 19-minute mark, is that we're going to try to kill him, or the far bird's going to kill the close. Jumps on down to the 19:28 mark, and I don't think much happens here other than we start calling to that far bird right here. Let's see. You can tell there we ignored the gobble of the close turkey and only addressed the gobble of the far turkey. When he gobbled, we cut at him. When he gobbled, we yelped on top of it. So we diverted our attention completely away from the bird that we've been on all morning, and went straight to the far turkey. At the 20-minute 46-second mark, you're going to see us start to make a move. And what you're watching here is the far turkey has essentially started moving, and we are trying to get into position to get directly between him and the closest turkey. It's very important in most situations to where if you are playing two turkeys against each other, the aggression factor usually overtakes the sexual attractant factor in most situations. When it comes to turkeys, they will approach the aggressor first. So it's very important to be directly in line with the aggressor. So from point A to point B, gobbler 1's A, gobbler 2 is B. You've got to be straight line between them, and that's essentially what we're doing here. We're trying to get in that straight line so that they have to pass us within shotgun range.
We think the other bird's going to make it first. We've made quite a switch to face down the hill and get down the hill a little bit to him. Hopefully it's fixing to work out. Hopefully he's fixing to come right across this point.
So I basically just explained what I just said, that we had, the other bird started making an advancement. We're trying to get directly in between them so that we can be in the right position when he passes by. 2350 is what I wanted to call our attention to next.
Hey, he ain't gonna cut that point, is he, without coming up here?
He's coming.
This one.
Maybe move to the left.
I'm afraid he's gonna get to that gobbler.
What I've done is I've realized that we ain't directly between point A and point B like I just said we needed to be. And we try to make a mad scramble to close that distance. Can't get far enough down the finger ridge that the turkey's going to basically cross the tip of. Instead of coming up our finger ridge, he's going to follow the finger that leads up to the gobbler that's been gobbling all morning. It's an obvious thing, but we're kicking ourselves for not making the move further down the ridge when we had the opportunity. But hindsight's always 20/20. Let's see. Here again, it's more confirmation that we waited too late. (26 minutes and 28 seconds). I'm pretty sure what I'm doing here is just telling y'all I'm a bit upset that we just missed that opportunity here on the last day of Georgia season.
The joker skirted the toe of the ridge that we were on and went right past us. Went up that ridge right there. Gosh dang it. Now they're up there fighting.
And exactly what you know is going to happen happens. So after what we'll call a missed opportunity, because we should have been in the right position to kill them turkeys, we kind of looped back to the top, assuming that hopefully they would be receptive after they had duked it out and ironed out their differences. And, well, at the 27-minute, 14-second mark, that's kind of what happened. So let's hop over there. What I want to point out here at the 27-minute mark is when Chubb strikes that turkey, I continue under the breath yelping while we're making our setup, because there's all kind of noise that goes on when we have to kind of retreat and find a tree. There's leaf noise, there's all kind of stuff going on. With that under the breath yelping, this is something that we hit on way in an earlier reworked episode. That under the breath yelping just keeps that whole noise thing that's going on realistic. It sounds like a real hen. When he gobbles and you immediately crash for a tree, that's not exactly realistic. But if you can keep some turkey talk going, clucking, purring, under the breath yelping, just something. I mean, I wouldn't want to be extremely loud at that point in time. Maybe it'll work, I don't know. But I always just try to keep something going if there's a lot of what could be perceived as unnatural noise and movement just across the hill from where he's at. 27 minutes and 55 seconds. I think this is a precursor to what happens in the end.
If he comes down the top there, could be in trouble. Just swing to the right.
This goes all the way back to what I said earlier about this being a real difficult spot to set up. Chubb's just kind of basically told you what was fixing to happen. If he comes down the top, if he comes to our left, we're going to be handcuffed because this turkey's going to be within 10 yards and we're not going to be able to shoot at him. Well,
if we back up 50, we got the whole thing covered.
The 28-minute, 30-second mark, Chubbs gives us the answer to our dilemma. I got cold feet, I guess. I was afraid that if we moved, the turkey would see us because he was extremely close, and who says that he wouldn't have? But anyways, so at the 29-minute, 38-second mark, what we make mention of is throwing our call. I'm doing everything in my power to keep this turkey from passing us basically just over the ridge top, within 10 yards without us being able to see it. So I'm throwing all my calls down to the right to try to get this turkey to come up to the top. Directionality, calling, or tossing your calls, whatever you want to call it, is it can be effective. It definitely works. Throwing your calls to the left, throwing your calls to the right. On a very gullible turkey, you can almost drive them, just like a vehicle. That's what we're trying to do here. I'm throwing the calls down the hill to the right, trying to bring this gobbler up over the top before it gets right beside us. And essentially, after that, there's not much else that I want to call your attention to, because the actual success in this hunt is absolutely luck. There is nothing but a cashed-in horseshoe that allows us to walk out of here with a turkey this day. If you've watched day 68, you know what happens. The turkey comes down our left side, busts us, or something busts the turkey, I'm confident. After we went back and reviewed everything, there's no way we still couldn't see the turkey. He was still over the roll of the hill. Fairly confident something on the other side of that hill busted that turkey, whether it be a coyote, whether it be Lord knows what, but caused that turkey to fly up right over our heads, like we could have almost reached out and touched him, which is another reason that we think that it wasn't us that busted the turkey. I don't think he would have flown to us if we would have been the one busted him. Either way, we at the time thought we were the cause of that whole commotion, and Chubbs mainly is pitching an outright fit. And the second turkey that was part of the pair come across the top of the ridge completely oblivious to what was going on. Basically, his attention was still directed toward the turkey that had flown over our head and was in a tree about 50 yards away. And Chubbs luckily didn't throw his gun. He just mildly tossed his gun and was able to get his gun and get on the turkey and kill the turkey.
Dude, he is a freaking toad.
So anyways, I do believe that's all I wanted to touch on for day 68 of the Pinhoti Project 2018 season. If you like it, if you thought it was worth a flip, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know if there's anything in particular you want us to address. I've got a lot of videos, a lot of instructional / how-to stuff I think we're going to address before the season gets here this season. So stay tuned. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.